Watch your mouth. You ever hear that as a kid? Well, that's exactly what we're gonna do today, is watch your mouth, because your words matter. And when you change your language, you change your life. Let me say that again. Your words matter. And when you change your language, you change your life. Okay, let's get into it. And I'm giving you none other than a lesson on grammar. Okay, we're gonna talk about past, present, and future tense and how that corresponds to what's going on in your life. So if you remember yesterday, I'm gonna pull up that little graph that we talked about, the beta model, beliefs, emotions, thoughts, and actions, okay? And how in the iceberg model, look at this handy dandy teaching, like so organized, what is in your subconscious versus your conscious. If you missed this, like go back and watch this because it's helpful. Now, you see here, your thoughts, how that is the border between the conscious and the subconscious. In other words, your thoughts are a physical expression of what's happening in your mind. Your thoughts are a physical expression of what's happening in your mind. So it is through your thoughts that we can understand your emotions and your beliefs. If you want to change your actions, we need to have higher quality or different thoughts. And how are thoughts expressed? They are expressed through words, whether that is written, right? That's why we journal, or whether that is verbally, out loud, auditorily. That's why we talk and we vent to our friends. And that's also why it's so important to watch what are the conversations you're having and who are the people you're having said conversations with. So powerful, so important. So it is through your expression, right? Words, out loud or on paper, or just within your head, the self-talk. Do you have negative self-talk? Are you constantly saying, you suck, you're not good enough, you can't do this, that's too hard, you could never, oh, I wish I could, but. You look so bad, you should lose weight, you'd be happier if, right? That loop in your head, those are your thoughts, and they're not yet being expressed out loud. And when we can express them out loud, we can get them into the conscious through your writing or your speaking. Now we have a chance to change them because we can actually see they're above the surface. They're in the conscious, we can see them, and then therefore we can bring them back through the beta models to start changing those emotions and beliefs. So when we talk about words and thoughts, if we want to change our life, we need to change our language. And we are going to do a study on grammar today, on past, present, and future tense. And there are 4 words we have an example of, and this might sound rudimentary. Quite frankly, it might sound so simple. You're like, how could this possibly work? But the reality is most changes are actually quite simple. They're not easy, but they're simple. You want to exercise consistently? It doesn't matter what kind of activity. It doesn't have to be weightlifting. You don't have to be in a matching set. It doesn't have to be running marathons. You just need to move your body and get your heart rate up and get your muscles working. It's very simple, but it's much easier said than done, right? Because of the mindset. So past, present, and future. Let's look at my saying, you can have, be, or do anything you want. You can have, be, or do anything you want. You can have anything that you want to have. If you desire it, if it's in your heart, it is possible for you. You can be anything you want to be, right? Which relates to identity, self-image, the way you see yourself, self-concept, the way you think about yourself, right? And you can do anything you want to do, right? That's the action. And the last one is your being, it's your identity, and that is the am statement. I am XYZ. The way you describe yourself. I am a fit person. I am a confident person. I am an entrepreneur. I am a content creator. I suppose now I am a YouTuber, right? Which for a lot of people, switching your identity, it's almost like we have to prove the identity before we have it. But by having to prove, right, that tells us we don't have it. And your mind is very literal. This is the key point. Your mind is very literal, okay? Your subconscious cannot interpret past or future tense. It can only interpret present, right? And same thing with negative and positive. It can't interpret tone. So if you're like, oh, I wish I could have that, versus, oh, I wish I could have that. When you're listening to me or you're hearing me say that, you know there's two very different meanings to I wish I could have that, or like I want to have that, or like wish I could have that, want to have that. One is a positive, right? It's expansive, it's filled with desire, it's filled with possibility. The other one is filled with judgment, criticism, maybe shame, negative, right? It's negative. Your subconscious cannot determine the difference. So the words you're using are so important. Now let's take that example of have, be, do, and am. Stay with me, we got 4 minutes left. This is good stuff. Have. I want to have a job that fulfills me, right? If that's in the future tense, wait, can you see this? Let me scoot in. Have. If you will have would be the future, right? And the past would be had. You don't have it in the present. So do you see when I'm saying I will have, or I want to have, or I had a job that fulfilled me, the implication is that you don't currently have it. You don't currently have it. The implication is that you don't currently have it. The same thing with be. Be is in the present. Let's be the best version of ourselves. Become would be the future, and maybe became or was. Became, right, would be the past. Now we'll go quickly through the last two. Do, I am doing my work. I will do. Or, I did my work. And then the last one is am. Will be. So do you see how similar be and am are? They're like two sides of the same coin, and was. Okay. This all makes sense. Look at it. Comprehension check. Nod with me if you're following along. I'm serious, nod with me. Like you're actually here in person with me and we're studying this together. And I'm breaking this down in my daily notebook, like I'm sitting with a friend, okay? If you're not comprehending, trust that you're gonna get exactly what you need. Don't try to understand it perfectly, just continue on and hear me out, okay? So looking at this, we can also redefine this future column with the term want. I have the job of my dreams. I want the job of my dreams. I want to have the job of my dreams. That's future. Be. I'm being the best version of myself. I will become. I want to become the best version of myself, right? Now, we can change that tense. You hear the distinction between I will become or I want to become and I am becoming. Am becoming is in the present. Want to become is in the future. Do. I am doing the thing. I want to do the thing. Or I am a YouTuber. I want to be a YouTuber. So am and be, again, are very similar. Very, very, very similar. I feel like it's important to go through them both. We can really break it down to have, be, and do. How often, we're gonna put this graph down because you get it. How often do you hear someone talk about their goals in the future tense? Every time you say, I want to do X, want implies that you don't have. Want implies that you don't have. And our subconscious mind is very literal because that is, remember when we talked about dream, believe, receive? I think that was the 3 words, right? Dream, believe, receive. Dream a bigger dream or ask for a bigger dream. That was in law of attraction. So dream, believe you're worthy of it. And then 3 is receive, not achieve. Dream, believe, achieve. I feel like that is hustle culture core. Dream, believe, receive. Being willing to accept it and hold on to it. That is the having. Being able to hold on to that thing that you want is the having. So when we're talking about our goals, you're gonna start noticing this everywhere. When people talk about, I want to do X, I want to do Y, that implies that's in the future. And watch how many people say, I want to, and then what percentage of that is actually followed through on? Some people, yes, but some people, no. Some people are in the perpetual state of wanting. We wanna be be in the perpetual state of having. So whenever you're thinking about your goal, whenever you're talking about your goal, you're writing down your goal. I want you to write it in the present tense. This is so powerful. I need you to write it in the present tense. Okay? Instead of saying, I want to exercise consistently, or I'm going to exercise consistently. Those are all future. That implies we don't have that now. So you're actually in a cycle of wanting your goals, not having your goals. You say, I exercise consistently. This comes down to changing your identity. We can only change your identity in the present. So you say, I exercise consistently. Not I will exercise consistently, I exercise consistently. Not I will write a business plan. I am writing a business plan. I am working on a business plan, because this signals to your mind, even if you haven't started physically doing, right, the business plan yet, in your mind, if you've told your subconscious, we are working on the business plan, working, present, it's gonna start working on it mentally. So it can start in your beliefs, your emotions, your thoughts, and then into the physical, okay? So, in summary, watch your mouth. You change your language, you change your life. Pay attention. And we didn't even get into talking about past tense, the things that you don't want. Should we just do it? I think we're in it. We'll just do it. Stay with me, okay? Because this is so key. We could make a whole part 2 on this. The things that you don't want. If you say like, oh, I don't like my job. I have a terrible relationship with fitness. I don't exercise consistently. So often, the things that we desire to have, our goals, we say in future tense, but the things we desire not to have, we say in present tense. The things that we don't like. I need you to change that language to past tense. This is why you'll never hear me say I'm a perfectionist. You will hear me very often say I'm a recovering perfectionist. I'm a recovering overachiever, because that claims your power in the present and tells your mind what you are not doing anymore. Recovering, right? I used to be a perfectionist. I was a perfectionist before, right? Language, it matters so much. You have to signal to that subconscious what is that you desire and what isn't, okay? So pay close attention. Think about this. If this was helpful, leave a comment. And if you want a part 2 studying language, or you have specific questions, please leave them below. And as always, if you tuned into this entire episode and you don't leave a comment, honestly super rude, and that will make me very sad. So don't do that, okay? Leave a comment if you made it all the way through. And make sure you're subscribed to my channel. If not, because I share daily videos every single day. I love you, and I will see you tomorrow.